treatments that are so important to patients, and you're working in a very early stage. If you look back at the way the model was 10, 15 years ago, you would say, well, I only have to develop my treatment up to this point. Someone will license it or I'll be bought out. So there's some exit strategy. And then you say, okay, well then I'm not going to worry about the reimbursement hurdle. I'm not going to worry about that piece because big pharma company, sorry, not quite big pharma company, larger pharma companies than us will do that work for us. Well, guess what? That's not necessarily the case these days. If they are, sometimes they're buying these treatments later in the development. And I've heard companies say that. Folks have come in and looked at the portfolio and said, guess what? You haven't really thought about how to build and prepare for eventual reimbursement and what value they need. And so therefore, my valuation of your asset is lower than it would have been before. So you can't think about, what historically where biotech companies would go in terms of exit strategies is very different today. So, that ties in that unknown part of the Affordable Care Act has to be thought, we have to start to think that into the plans and saying, okay, if there's Medicaid expansion, what's going to be valued in Medicaid?
So what I would add to that, because I think you're exactly right, the challenge I have when I look at your sector through my sector's lens is you're engaging your end user when you market, sometimes in phase 3. How many of you are engaging the end user when you decide what the research questions are going to be? Probably none of you. It's an opportunity to build a strategy at the front end for continuous engagement that looks not only at the product development and the product marketing, but what's important to the patient. What are the reported outcomes you're going to measure? What are the quality metrics that are important to the end user? What is value to the patient? There's an opportunity to create standards around this in a pre-competitive space for all of you to have, which the National Health Council, NIH, FDA are just beginning to work on. That would then allow you to compete on who does it best. And this spans small biotech all the way to big pharma. But if you had those standards, you had that engagement, you have the potential to shrink your development time by 3 years. And you have